Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of the Capitalize Your Best podcast. My name is Gordon Duncan. I'm the owner of Capitalize Marketing and Consulting. And this show is part of the larger Capitalize Your Best podcast network of shows. On Mondays, we have the This Is Gonna Hurt podcast, which focus on personal growth, making a better you. Tuesday, we have Coach Training Partners, which is a podcast about helping coaches grow their revenue and to create coaching programs. Today is Wednesday. This is the Capitalize Your Best podcast. We focus on business and marketing growth. Thursdays, we don't have a podcast, but we do have a live 11 a.m. Eastern coaching call, which you are more than welcome to join. You just reach out to me. I can give you access to that. And then on Fridays, we have the fun You're Entitled to Your Opinion podcast, which is just a fun review show where we talk about movies, books, TV shows, just things that I'm watching, something to get that entertainment yah-yah out of me. But friends, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for the launch of the new year. We had a very successful Decade in a Day, all-day seminar this week. Next week on the 20th, we have our very first Capitalize Your Best Life Thrive event. That's from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. here in Fredericksburg. Reach out to me. That's going to focus on growing our body capital. And then we also have our brand new online community, the Capitalize Your Best community. And we have a 7-day free trial for anybody who would like to explore that. There's some wonderful group of high performers there, a lot to tune in for. And friends, we have a lot going on in Capitalize Marketing, and I'm very thankful you're here. But today I want to talk about a topic that has come up a lot. Now, anytime I have the same conversation multiple times in one day, then all of a sudden I'm like, there's something there, especially when people come to me and ask for me specific feedback on it. So today I had two different people talk to me, actually three different people talk to me about affirmations and creating neural pathways. Now, this is something that's very specific and applies to all of our life. I'm going to apply it specifically to our business life here, but a couple of the folks who reached out wanted to talk about how it affects us personally, and I'll make sure I'll give application to that. So what is the importance of affirmations? Do they make any difference whatsoever? And then what's a neural pathway? So first of all, affirmations are writing down things that we believe to be true. Writing down things that we believe to be true. These may be truths. These may be they may be like an objective truth. They may be things that we want to believe about ourselves, or they might be our goals. They might be things that have not occurred yet. And so one person asked me, well, how do we come up with these affirmations? Another person was like, does it matter? And so let's address that. So I want to give you three things to learn about affirmations, how they're important, how they can affect you personally, how they can affect your business, and how they become part of your day-to-day life. So you ready? All right, I've got a few notes here. Let's jump in. Number one, if you want to create affirmations, the first thing to do before anything else is clearly decide what it is you want. Details matter. Clearly decide what it is you want. Details matter. For example, revenue-wise, I have a number that I want Capitalize Marketing to deposit this year. Like how much money I want for us to deposit this year. I have that broken down into year, month, and day. And so every day when I've got a journal and I write out my affirmations, and I write out the exact same thing every single day. And so I will write down Capitalize Marketing deposits X number a month. Capitalize Marketing deposits X number a day. Like that's specific. I write it out specifically. And that's because that's the goal. And I write it out in the present tense. And we're going to talk about that. That's number two in a minute. But I write out in the present tense. Not that I want to do it, not that I will do it, but like it's happening. When I write out my personal goals, my personal goal, for example, is always that I'm a Boston qualifier and a Boston runner. Not just that I qualify, but I run in Boston. I've qualified 4 times. I ran it in 2021. I'm ready to get back there, right? So I write out in for my affirmations, I am a Boston qualifier and runner. And I have about 15 or 16 of these affirmations. I'm sure they're going to grow as the year goes along, that are insanely specific. Now, here's the thing. If you're not specific about your goals, you can't accomplish them. No one accomplishes a vague goal. Like if it's fuzzy, like I want to feel better or I feel better, we have to be specific about that. The body and the mind don't respond to anything that's vague. It responds to facts and to specifics. And so if I go, I want to feel better, I mean, the body doesn't know what to do with that. But if I say, I wake up pain-free every morning, that's specific. I have no back pain. Now, you might say, Gordon, this sounds a little delusional. Hang in there with me. I hope it does. It should be outrageous and delusional to a certain extent, okay? But one, be insanely specific about every area of your life. So I have affirmations for my company. I have affirmations for me personally, health-wise and otherwise. I have affirmations about my marriage and my children. They're me. I'm not saying what other people are going to do. I'm saying what I am, right? And so I'm insanely so take your goals and make them affirmations. Now, number two, the most important thing is write them down in the present tense. The brain doesn't know any difference between a memory or a dream. The brain believes what you tell it. When you say that person's delusional, yes, they believe what the brain has told them. You are telling yourself reality, hopefully, right? But write it in the present tense, because if I keep telling my brain that something's going to happen one day, my brain registers, well, that's in the future. That's in the future. But when we write it down in the present tense, then the brain thinks that's today. Listen, for my friends who are Christians, I know that sometimes there's a rebuke against this. Like, well, that's not true. We pray for things. But yes, even Jesus told us to pray as if it had already been given to us. That manner of faith. So I write my things down in present tense. Capitalized deposits X amount of money a day. I am a Boston qualifying runner. I am, and then I have them out. I write them in present tense because when we write them in the present tense, something happens. We begin looking for different opportunities every day. So, for example, if I have this number of what capitalized need to deposit a day, when I begin thinking about what I want to do, something will come up and I go, but that's not consistent with the amount of money I want to deposit every day. So I'm not going to do that. Or, oh, that will get me towards the amount of money I want to deposit a day. So I will do that. I have a simple one here. I'll give you this as a practical example. I go running every morning or about 4 or 5 days a week in the early morning. Some days I run in the sunshine, but I usually get up around 4 and I get out the door around 5. Just takes me that long to do a few things, right? Well, I feel like I'm wasting time. I am. I'm scrolling on TikTok and taking my time drinking my coffee. I'm ready to get out the door, right? So I've set one of my affirmations this year. In the morning, I wake up and get out the door running within 30 minutes. In the morning, I wake up and get out the door running within 30 minutes. Now, I'm not succeeding in that yet. I find myself 45 minutes or an hour or whatever. But when I write it out, I'm like, that's got to change. That's got to change. And then all of a sudden, I begin making different choices. When I wake up, I think, you got 30 minutes to get out the door. And all of a sudden, I'm thinking differently because I'm writing those things out in the present tense. Now, this leads to number 3. First of all, 1, our affirmations have to be insanely specific. 2, we need to write them in present tense. 3, when we do this, we create new neural pathways. Our brain begins to connect things differently. Now, one of my favorite topics is the reticular activation system. Hang in there for me, the RAS. The brain has what's called the reticular activation system. It wants to work efficiently. The brain wants to work efficiently. So therefore, it creates pathways to work efficiently. If I say, what is your name? I'm going to go, Gordon. There's no thought about it because a neural pathway has been connected to make it easy for me to remember that. If I do it over and over and over again, yeah, it's just like training an animal. When they do the same thing, they know the same thing. Your brain works the same way, right? So I put on my left shoe before I put on my right shoe. Why? Because I've done it that way since I was a child. Like, I don't even think about it. I never go, uh-oh, you need to put your left shoe on. No, the brain goes, left shoe goes on first. It's just the way it works, right? That neural pathway has been created. Now, the reticular activation system also works this way. Let's say that I want a black Range Rover. I own a black Range Rover. I own a black Range Rover. I own a black Range Rover. All of a sudden, I'm going to start noticing black Range Rovers. All of a sudden. Did it appear out of nowhere? No. But the RAS has began saying, you need to be looking out for black Range Rovers. Black Range Rovers are everywhere, right? And so the RAS makes neural pathways. Now, hang in there. So when you write your affirmations out, insanely specific, the brain wants details, and then you write them out in the present tense, a new neural pathway is created. And so you begin looking for those opportunities. If you wrote one out like I weigh 185 pounds and you don't weigh 185 pounds yet, but you write that out every day, I weigh 185 pounds, you're all of a sudden going to begin making a neural pathway and you're going to be doing the things that are consistent with weighing 185 pounds. You're going to be like, oh, well, I'm not going to do that thing. It's not going to help me weigh 185. Or I'm going to do that thing. It'll help me get to 185. So when I write out our deposit goals for the company and I write them out in the present tense, all of a sudden I'm thinking that's the thing that gets me there, or that thing does it. So I begin to do it or don't do it. This is the importance of affirmations for your business, the importance of affirmations for your personal life, because the goals become super specific. The brain wants specificity. And then when you write them out in the present tense, you begin thinking, oh, this is the way things will be. You become a different person, and these new neural pathways make you move in that direction. And if you do it every single day, it's okay to miss one, but try not to. Do it every single day. So what are we here on the 13th? I think I've done it 10 out of 13 days, and I'm trying not to miss. I really am. And that is a new, like I need to write down, I journal every day. That will help too. Maybe that's my new affirmation. I'll add that there. But so far I'm doing that. And I've got a list of like 15. And then what will happen is that list is going to get bigger and bigger. And then that's going to become my journaling daily process. I'm going to set aside time for it. Right now, it takes me about 5 minutes. It's going to eventually take longer, but that's going to become who I am because the neural pathway has been created. So in summary, friends, let me say what we got here. 1, clearly describe what it is you want. Like the details matter. Write it out as clearly as possible in every area of your life, health, your wealth, relationships, business, write it out. 2, then write them down in the present tense. I own a black Range Rover. I am a Boston qualifier and runner. Capitalized deposits this much money every single week or day. And then finally, what you're going to be doing as you do this, you will be creating neural pathways. That's the importance. And you're going to begin to think differently. You already do this in so many areas. You do it the way you eat, the way you put your shoes on. You do it the way you decide to dry off when you get off the shower. Many people do the exact same thing. And I do. And that way, like if you injure like your right hand, and then all of a sudden you've got to brush your teeth, your body's like, I don't know how to do this because the neural pathway causes you to do it without thinking. You're going to have to create new neural pathways, right? And that's what we're doing here. To accomplish our goals, we write them down in detail as possible, write them down in affirmations, we create neural pathways, and then we become those things. So friends, I hope this is helpful. I've enjoyed talking about it. I'm going to send this to several of you directly. Listen to it, comment, share. This is the kind of things that we're doing both in the Capitalize Your Best business program and the Capitalize Your Best life personal program. This is how we help you become who you want to be, both personally and professionally. Hey, reach out to me if you want to go to any of our events, especially if you want a 7-day free trial to the Capitalize Your Best community. And friends, I'm enjoying this. If you want to join the Capitalize coaching call Thursday at 11 a.m., reach out to me directly. I'll get you a link to that. And our next show will be You're Entitled to Your Opinion on Friday. And we'll talk to you soon. Thanks, friends. Bye-bye.